Hi, Nick Osborne with the Personal Training Department Blueprint, back with our next lesson over what systems you need to put into place to be successful, start making a lot more revenue, start helping clients a lot more, and start your trainers making more and more money and staying in the business longer to help you, help the clients, and of course help themselves. So, the first video was along why you need to put systems in place. I know it was long. Some owners watched it from beginning to end because they had to be convinced. Some owners watched the first 10, 15 minutes and said, that's enough. I get it. You don't need to continue to pound it into my head. And some people shut it off at the beginning because they think that 2 to 4% penetration is more than enough and it's what the industry does, so they're happy with it. I'm here to speak to the people who really want to make some changes. So the video after that was all about how to put a sales system in place. It was a short video on what you need to do to have a sales system in place to really make a big difference. This video is all about professionalism standards. So these are the things that aren't obvious to most members. They're definitely not obvious to the trainers, but they make the biggest impact to the member, because the member is really what's important in this equation, not the trainer. The member needs to feel comfortable spending money and know that they're going to get a professional product back. They're going to get a professional trainer with a professional system. That doesn't happen at most clubs. So we're going to talk today about professionalism standards. So if you put these in place, put them in your employment agreement with your coaches or trainers. They need to know what you expect out of them and what the clients expect out of them. It'll make it easier on you. You can't just wing it and say, here's a rule. Have them in place. So the first one is, you got to talk to the trainer in their training, in their education, about what image they want to give to other members. And I still have this in my club. We have some trainers that'll walk around with gallons of water and things of tuna and all this on the floor. They'll try to, or I don't allow that. And then I talk to them about what image do you want to give to the potential people. Do you want to wear shirts that are 5 times too small, that you're too big, or it's all about you? That's not the image that we want to create. It's got to be a professional image. So you start talking to them about a professionalism standard that requires them to give a good impression visually to other people. What mindset do I need to have? You need to have one that is a professional mindset. Now this sounds simple. If you want to be a professional, start thinking like one. And this is our first lesson. We have 3 professionalism lessons in our IFCS level, and I believe in the Fat Loss Department Blueprint level, that teaches trainers what professionalism really is. There's 18 points. The 3 videos go over 6 apiece. And the first one is, you got to start thinking that you're a professional. You're not just some kid in the gym liking to work out and getting other people to work out. You're a fitness professional. How do you act? What image do you give off? Okay. The next thing is, you got to start sessions on time. I've seen some industry surveys and results that say that less than 50% of training sessions start on time. Now, that might be a trainer coming in late, but it also might be the trainer running over a session. So trainer A works with the client a little bit too long. They had a 30-minute session. They worked 35 minutes with them when it should be a 25-minute session. They walk up front, they schedule them, they chat with them. The next client's out on the floor waiting to be trained and being annoyed. So they go out, they see that the client's annoyed that they're not. Don't worry, I'll give you your 30-minute session. You run over by the 5 minutes into the next session because you gave them 30 minutes. So every session after that starts 5 minutes late. That happens more often than what you realize. You want a client to think you're a professional, respect their time. They showed up, you're ready to go. Even if your client shows up 5 minutes late, you're ready to go as soon as they walk in. You put them through their quick warm-up because technically they're supposed to do that before they come in. They don't. You warm them up so that they're safe, and then you start training them. But you're ready on time. When a trainer wants to know, well, I'm coming from home, what's on time? 10 minutes early to your first session is on time. Whether you go away to lunch, come back, you got an appointment at 5 o'clock, better be there at least 10 minutes before to be considered on time. Okay? So there's another professionalism standard. Dress. All of my trainers wear polos with the company logo sewn into them. That's the right size. Not 3 sizes too small, not 2 sizes too big. It's the right size. Everybody will agree as a staff, this is what you need to look like. You don't look sloppy. You don't wear sweatshirts that are too big. You don't look intimidating. You don't wear your own t-shirt. Nothing like that. You don't wear spandex shorts when you're training. Nothing like that. How do you dress to be a professional? Hygiene. Are you showered when you come in? Is your hair done right? Guys, are you shaved? At my club, you never wear beards. You don't wear facial hair because we've seen about a 3% drop at most clubs in revenue when people are allowed to have facial hair and long hair. We just don't do that. So at our clubs, you don't get to wear beards. You don't get to have the scruff, nothing like that. And you try to look professional every time you come in. There's a reason why most people that work in offices come in dressing nice, looking nice. It does impact the bottom line. Another thing, you gotta be showered. Don't work out, then train a client. Don't get a couple quick sets in, then train clients. That's not what we're about. It's not about your workout affecting other people. You shouldn't come in smelling. Another thing is, don't wear a ton of body spray, cologne, or perfume. It's not about you and picking people up. Wear a nice deodorant, and that's it. You never know the people that you're going to work with. Do they have allergies? Are they sensitive to smells like it? We've run into clients who they can't work with trainers because of the amount of cologne that they wear, and it could be a tiny bit because they have sensitivities to certain smells or scents or chemicals. Never turn off a client. Again, it's not about you, and it's not about wearing the cologne to pick up people. Just wear a nice deodorant, and that's it. Make yourself accessible to everybody. The next thing is communication. Do you speak proper English? And I caveat this that if you're in an area that might speak an alternative language, Spanish, something else, you might have to be bilingual, or you might actually speak Spanish more often. But do I communicate correctly with my clients? Do I speak proper English? If not, there's a problem. Now, I'm not saying I'm the most articulate person, but I try to make sure that if I'm going to be in a professional setting, I speak professionally. I'm not using a lot of cuss words. I'm not using tons of profanity. I'm trying to speak professionally to my clients to gain the respect and to be more professional. Minimum standards when it comes to our professional standards when it comes to actually producing revenue for the gym. This is key. To work for my clubs, you have to have 25 billable hours on your books every week once you hit month 3. If not, you run the risk of being fired. I might give you a month to get it back up, but for the most part, it puts pressure on the trainers to actually produce so that they make more money, so that the club makes more money, and they're actually helping more people, and they're more valuable to the club. They're not playing at being a personal trainer, which happens at most clubs. You can do it part-time. If you're training 3 people for an hour twice a week, that's 6 billable hours, even though you only work 2 hours. I'm pretty fair when it comes to this, that you're not actually in the club working 25 hours, which would take a long time for clients, and it might, to build up that amount of clients, and I might burn the trainer out that quick right out the bat. But you have to produce results and at least be productive to the team. You can't be getting a membership, saying that you're a personal trainer, putting your name on the board, presenting yourself as a professional personal trainer, but you're not producing results, because professionals produce. We want consistency. What's your attitude on a daily basis? If you're all over the place and basically have bipolar syndrome walking around, that's not acceptable. You're not a professional. You need to put together a professional image every time that you come in. It doesn't matter what happened. You broke up with your boyfriend, broke up with your girlfriend, nothing like that should affect the member's experience, the people around you's experience. You shouldn't be all happy and giggly one day, and the next day you're going off and screaming at people and having a bad attitude. I'm looking for a consistent attitude. I'm looking for a consistent product. You're having a bad day. Does your clients have bad workouts? They better not. So again, consistency across the board. And for owners and managers, these things need to go into your employment agreement. So your clients, your trainers know what you expect and what the clients expect. The last thing, have integrity. This goes back to one of my favorite authors. His name's Larry Winget. He's in our system. So if you join up with the personal training fat loss department blueprint or the IFCS, we actually interviewed Larry. I'm friendly with him. We've put his information in the club, and it's general business information, but it's straightforward. His saying is, do what you said you would do, the way you said you would do it, when you said you would do it. And that's key to us. I couldn't say it any better. I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. But that's what we want out of our trainers. Have integrity. Do what you say you were going to do, the way you said you would do it, when you would said you would do it, for the club and for the client and for the staff around you. If you said you were going to wipe down some equipment because you didn't make your sales next month, you're going to wipe them down on Thursday, wipe them down on Thursday. Heck, do it on Tuesday to get it done, so I believe in you and trust you. That's what we're all about with our systems putting in place, is putting a believable team together. So, professional standards are huge. Those are the ones I would start with. If you can get your trainers to operate on those 5, 8, 9 of those, whatever it is, and you can get those things successful in your club, you're going to change how people think of your personal trainers and your personal training department. And when your trainers start thinking like professionals, they will start producing completely different. So, people ask us again, why should I put these things in place? So I'm going to reiterate the money that you're missing. If you're a club that doesn't have a 15% penetration, you have 2,000 members. 2,000 members, you should be making over $720,000 every year from personal training. However, let's say you have at least a 5% penetration, which most clubs would kill to have a 5% penetration. The average client spends $175 per month. At 2,000 members, you're only making $210,000 a year in personal training. That means every single year you are missing over $500,000 in revenue. I think it's time to put some systems in place. If you want to do it on your own, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to give you every system you need to put into place. But if you don't want to go through the hassle and you want to work with us, just click on the link that takes you to our website, or go to the Personal Training Department Blueprint. We'll be happy to help you. Because my job with the Personal Training Department Blueprint is to help put systems in place to make you more money. So until next time, Nick Osborne.